What are you doing, Pinardo? Are you eyeballing this catnip right here? I think you are. Waiting for me to turn my back. Today is one of my favorite days of the entire gardening season. Because today, I get to figure out what to do with these peppers, which I'm gonna put them in this hydroponic system right here. So if you're wanting to grow peppers this year, but don't have time to water them, you're gonna wanna watch this video. If you're into gardening, growing your own food, doing DIY builds, or homesteading, or anything like that, consider hitting that subscribe button and joining the family. We'd love to have you. Well, let's get to it. Before I get into breaking anything down, let me go ahead and show you the system I'm gonna be using to grow these peppers. So here we have the hydroponic system that I'm going to be using for this grow. This is a rain gutter grow system. It's actually two of them, but this is the one complete system I'm going to be using. If you know about rain gutter grow systems, these things are amazing. This is a sub-irrigated hydroponic system. This is what I'm going to be growing in this year. The same I did last year with my peppers, and they turned out absolutely fantastic. Nice, healthy green. They lasted more than anything else that was in my garden. Now this system is very, very simple in how it works. Nutrient-rich barrel filled with nutrient-rich water, gets fed, gravity fed, no power, gets fed down through the line into these two rain gutter grow systems right here. These two are connected to the same barrel, but I can independently switch them off if I need to, if one has something in it and the other one doesn't, or if one finishes, or whatever the case may be. If I need to flush one, or if one has a leak, I can turn them off. And the float valve continuously lets it drip until it fills up and then shuts it off. Once the water reaches the level right there, it shuts it off. And right here we have our 3D printed wicking spikes. We will have those all through here, which is going to have our bags right here. Now these are the pots that we're going to be using. This is fresh cocoa coir that I hydrated yesterday, mixed with 2 bags of perlite. These right here are 3-gallon pots, and they do have 2 holes to match the grow spike for the system. But before I get to putting those on the system, I need to clean the system out from any debris that's accumulated over the winter time. You can see the debris. We've got a bunch in there. Bunch of leaves, bunch of crud, bunch of dirt, bunch of grime. Look at that, it's filthy. So I'm gonna go ahead, get to cleaning these up. Should only take about 5 minutes. Good morning, everybody. It's the next day. I did get all of that done. I got the system cleaned out. I got the pots filled up with the mix that we wanted. Everything's ready to go. I do need to situate a couple of things first. I need to mix up my barrel here full of the nutrient-rich water that we're going to be using to fill these systems right here. Then I need to actually release the water, make sure that there's no leaks in the system from last year from it sitting, freezing, drying, or freezing, thawing, you know, things like that. So I need to make sure there's no leaks in the system. Then I'm gonna go ahead and put the pots on the system. Then we'll get the transplanting. Very simple day. It's a beautiful day here in the Midwest. It's only gonna be about 72 degrees, light breeze, not a cloud in the sky. Fantastic. Let's get to work. And you can see my tomatoes are looking fantastic this morning. They went in the ground about a week ago. Our system is cleaned out for the most part. We got a lot of the leaf debris and anything that was sludgy and grimy that was stuck in there. We got it sprayed out. I want to make sure that these right here are not leaking in any way. I will shut these shut-off valves. I will close those and fill this reservoir up. Now, this is the barrel that goes to those two rain gutter grow systems. There is a little bit of water in here. It's filled to about right here. That should be enough to fill up these two reservoirs right here. Now, this is what I'm going to be using. Simple. To start this, I could change these up, or you can use anything similar. Anything that is closely represented right there. You want them to all be about the same. 633, a 555, an 18, 18, 21. You know, anything that's closely related to each other. You don't want any one really, really higher than the other. And especially, you don't want it high in nitrogen, which is the first number. All right, I'm just gonna, that's what I'm gonna do right there. All right, that makes it easier for me. Now the plan is to go at a low EC. So I'm only gonna scoop a few of these in here. Normally, when these are in full production, midway through summertime, and they're really using up the nutrients in the water, I have to put one whole container of this in a full barrel to get the right EC. That is, it's almost, I don't have to almost pH anything. It almost makes it pretty perfect. But whenever I do have to pH, I always have to pH up. So here's my pH adjuster, just some general hydroponics pH up. Very cheap on Amazon. You can find that very, very simply. But since this only has about this much water in it, I'm not going to just go scooping a bunch in here. I'm just going to... Now, normally, I would mix this up ahead of time, but I'm not going to do that this time because this water is pretty warm for being in the sun. So it's going to mix real good. Just grab me a pipe. And I got my pH pen / EC reader. This is a 4-in-1 or 5, I think it's a 4-in-1 pH pen / EC, ppms, and I think it does salinity as well. This is a very useful meter. I do have a code with AC Infinity. You can pick one of these up at acinfinity.com. Use code STONED. Save yourself some money. Always check your pH after adding your nutrients. Sitting at a 6.5 exactly. And the EC is a 1.0 EC. That's a little light. I think I'm going to go a little bit heavier than that. Plus, by adding just a little bit more nutrients, we're going to bring that pH down. All right, check it again. All right, now we're at a 1.5 EC. And the pH is 6.3. Nice. Okay, I can live with that. I can live with that. 1.5 to start these ladies out, because they have not received any liquid nutrients yet. They were just on the organics that was mixed into the soil that they were potted in. All right, we got this barrel ready to go. Now the only thing left to do is to release it. I need to close this off so it doesn't go this way. It needs to go down to these two hydroponic systems right here. Open up both of these valves. That way they flow and work. Okay, everything is turned on. Now, let me go ahead and release it from the barrel. Oh yeah, we've got it working. Awesome. Awesome. Both of these are working as expected. Now, we'll take a while for these to fill up, but that's fine with me. I've got nothing but time today. So I'm going to give these a couple of hours to fill up. Then I'll move on to the next step of putting the pots on it. This is the first one that I'm going to fill up, is this one. This is my hot pepper side. This is going to be my bell pepper side. So I'm going to plant my hot peppers a little bit closer together than my bell peppers. My bell peppers tend to get a little bit bigger and they need a little bit more space due to the pepper size. So I tend to give them a little bit more space than I do my hot peppers. It's been a couple of hours. We got some cloud cover now. It feels amazing out here. And good news, we have no leaks. Let's take a look. Both of these systems are full. And you can see we have nutrients in the reservoir. Or in the reservoirs, I should say. You can see they have been shut off due to the water level. And once this drops, lets more water in. Fantastic. No leaks on that end. Let's go down and check this end. Looking here, nothing. Underneath we have no wet spots, no nothing. Looking good. Time to move on to the next step. I need to go through my bucket of 3D printed spikes and make sure I have enough to get all of these peppers in these systems. All right, we got 10 in this one and 8 in the one next to it. They all have wicks. This is going to be their second year on those wicks, and it's going to be just fine. Let me give you a little look. These wicks dangle down into the nutrient-rich water, wick it up, and wick it out into our grow media. And you can see the water level is right at the top. So these are more than enough into the nutrient whisperer. Look at that. Beautiful. This also blocks a lot of sunlight, no light penetration into the reservoir itself, allowing algae and all that stuff to bloom. So this is how my rain gutter grow system works. Very simple. You can build one of these for yourself. You don't have to build it just like this. You can do it any way that you see fit. Whatever works for your system. Now that that's done, it's time to get to planting some peppers. These are our hot peppers. These are our big bell peppers. And also, if I need to drain this system, I can just open this valve up and it'll drain out. The next thing I need to do is to get these pots over top of the system, get them in place, then we can get to transplanting. Well, that was easy. That only took about 90 seconds, a minute and a half maybe. Beautiful. Perfectly spaced. We got 10 of them in here. That should be enough for our hot peppers. We eat some hot peppers, but we don't eat a lot of them. I like to do relish and salsa and stuff like that. So we do use some hot peppers. And I also like to make some with chilies and stuff like that. But, you know, I also like to jar some peppers, so I like to have some peppers on hand. We do a mixture of half and half. We do half hot and then half bell peppers. A mixture of bell peppers, not just all green. But now that this is in, let's go ahead and plant some plants. And there's nothing special to it. These have no nutrients in it. They're not getting any nutrients in it. All we're doing is transplanting. All of the nutrients are going to be coming from underneath in the reservoir. Passively, sub-irrigated, fed through gravity. Just gonna move it around. Make me a mold. That's it. Boom, just like that. 10 hot pepper plants planted in the hydroponic system. Amazing. What are you doing, Pinardo? Are you eyeballing this catnip right here? I think you are. Waiting for me to turn my back. It is a little windy today, so I think I'm going to install a support system. I'm going to do a Florida weave on these plants right here. If you don't know what that is, stick around. You'll know in just a second. The idea of a Florida weave is very simple. Put a post in between whatever section you want to be trellised. If you're doing a long section, you're going to need multiple poles in between, not just one at the end and one at the other end. That you're going to have to do every 6 feet, 8 feet, something like that. But since this is only an 8-foot gutter system right here, we only need 2. So one at this end and one at that end. So I'm going to first tie. I'm just using some regular twine. This isn't even garden twine, it's just regular twine. Tie it at about the level you want, and come back. Make sure you get all your plant matter and tie it at the same level. Make sure it's tight, not too tight to where it bends the poles. I like to wrap it twice. Sandwich both, then I'll cut. A couple of half hitches, and just like that, you can see it will not allow the plants to move that way. Yes, they will move this way, but I'm not going to have wind blowing from my shed or my house. Loud plane. And that is how a Florida weave is installed. You can see how it secures the plants. And as the plants grow taller, you just add more levels. That's the simplicity of a Florida weave system right there. Easiest trellis you could possibly do, probably. Well, that project is officially done. Couldn't be happier with how it turned out. These ladies look absolutely beautiful. And I imagine they will stay that way all summer long, all the way until the frost comes along and does them in. This system will keep them perfectly saturated to the point where they will have no issues. They won't want for any water. They won't want for any nutrients, unless I forget the barrel, but I won't. Yes, this takes a little bit of work to set up and a little bit of upfront costs and a little bit of upfront, effort, but the effort that you save by having not have to be here to spend time watering all these plants day in and day out, because these are 3-gallon pots. These are 3-gallon fabric pots. If I was to leave these, just water them normally, I would have to water 2 times a day in the middle of the heat, in the middle of those 90-degree, 95, even those 100-degree summer days, late July, early August. These plants wouldn't survive if I didn't. So with this, I never have to worry about it. They do use water faster. The barrel will deplete faster, but 55 gallons, it takes them a while to deplete that much. Now we just sit back and let the harvest roll in. We have multiple varieties of peppers, so should be a fairly delicious summer. If you like this video, you found it helpful, or if you just found it entertaining, hit that like button. Consider subscribing. We got a lot of stuff growing this summer. If you want to know how I built this totally integrated self-watering, self-auto-filling system with 2 hydroponic systems built in, go watch this video right here. You're going to want to watch it. I'll see you over there.